Yeah, so this is a walkthrough of the session for the song called Sun and Moon, which also happens to be my favorite track on the soundtrack. So here we have the walking parts, and here we have the flying parts. I set it up this way so that I could easily see what was on each track, and it's actually a little bit messy. Sorry about that. I'm a messy person. But yeah, let's take a listen to the walking parts. So I wanted this to be very low key and ambient and just kind of give you a nice feeling when you're walking on the islands. And then when you transform into a bird and fly away, I wanted to give you a more boost and feel a little bit more of that hype. So I saved all the drum parts and everything for the flying version. Yeah, let's take a look at the electric guitar parts, which are spread all over this soundtrack. So this is one of the first things that I made. I made this in another session, and then I bounced it all down to one single track. But it's essentially a bunch of electric guitars that I was playing. I was just randomly improvising, playing in the key of a song, and various rhythms, just playing random notes. And then I made that into a loop, and it loops every once in a while. I think it just adds a bit of that breathy, airy vibe. And it actually is, this one is in both the walking and the flying parts. And then out of one of the tracks for that made up this track, I made a drone thing. Oh, sorry. And it sounds like this. It also has a little bit of movement in volume and pitch as you go along, and it's made from this track. Oh, I shouldn't hear that. It's made from this track here. And that is made from this, which is one of the guitars from here. Yeah, so I essentially just took a little bit of that middle part and I looped it and I made a drone. And then when I had this with a little bit of pitch shifting and stuff, I copy pasted it and made another version with crystallizer on top, so you get that bright crystally sound. And this has a little bit extra movement. I think like the filter is automated. We have a pan man, so that it moves from left to right. And we also have a face mistress, which just adds a little bit of that extra movement. And that's it for the electric guitars. We have a slow acoustic guitar playing. And then just some pads. And a little bit of melody, like that comes in and out every once in a while. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the walking version. And here we have it flying. You can see I muted the drones, but I still kept that those electric guitars in the background, adding a little bit of depth. But yeah, the main part of this is this acoustic guitar going on, and then I added some banjo. Banjo riff, and I don't know if you actually caught that, but my cat actually, or my former cat actually sings on this. Yeah, she came in like just at the right time. She had a great sense of rhythm and pitch, obviously, because this sounds fucking amazing. Really, really proud of her singing skills on this track. But yeah. And for the banjo part that I showed you before, so I took that and I also made a new part out of that, which basically is just this part reversed. And I think it came out quite different. And then it goes back to the other banjo part. Maybe not my best transition ever, but it works, sort of. And then we just have some of the pads and stuff that we also had for the walking parts. Well. And all in all, it sounds like this. So yeah, one thing that I think is super interesting to note is that all the parts that are prominent have been recorded by me have been super heavily edited. Just take a look at this banjo. It's basically every note is pretty much chopped up. And I think I don't consider myself much of an instrumentalist, but I can get a decent take and then I can make some edits. And sometimes I just get a take and I make heavy edits. But let's take a listen to what it sounds like by itself. By itself, it's not sounding great. You can totally hear how heavily edited it is. Yeah, however, in the context of a full track, it kind of works. And therefore, I made the decision when recording this that it was unnecessary for me to get a better take, because if it works in the context, that's good enough, at least for me. And also, I want to end this by saying this track is in no way or shape or form perfect. It's muddy in parts, the mix is a little bit all over the place at times, and the snare isn't as snappy as I would have liked, and actually all of the drums aren't like in the place where I would have liked when I listen back now. However, it doesn't need to be. In the game it kind of works, and it adds a flare of atmosphere. However, it does. If there's one thing that I could have changed, it would have been to make it a little bit less repetitive. I think if you stay in one area for too long, and that goes for all the tracks, it gets a little bit repetitive at times. But you make those are the decisions I made at the time, and I live with them now, and a lot of people ended up liking it anyways. So yeah, that's it for this walkthrough. And future Kaisa will take it from here.